Hello, Jackals fans, and welcome inside this week's edition of the Jackals Coaches Show. My guest this week is Jackals captain Matt Tassoni, who has spent some part-time as a player assistant coach, so it's befitting of the title of the show that he's with my guest this week. Matt, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So, Matt, we just completed a 10-day, 6-game road trip, 2 countries, 3 different states.
Yeah.
A lot of travel.
A lot of travel.
And a lot of hockey in that stretch, too. You have a 3-3 to start it off in Brampton, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then you travel down to Cincinnati, which is not an easy travel by any means, especially when you have to cross back over into the United States at the border. Cincinnati, then Fort Wayne and Indy to finish it off. So when you're on a 10-day road trip, before we even get to the hockey side of things, when you're planning out your packing and your thoughts beforehand, what goes through your mind when you're like, I'm going to be on the road for the next week and a half? What do I need to take?
Well, fortunately, when we're on the road games, we wear our tracksuits usually, so it's pretty easy for game days to kind of decide what to wear. But then you always got to look at the weather. Definitely, if it's going to be cold, if it's going to be warm, it's going to be decent. You kind of pack for that, and then definitely you pick kind of the days that you want to go out and do something. If it's a nice meal or the movie with the boys, kind of bring a pair of jeans and a nice shirt and go out in town.
And did you have some fun experiences up in Brampton while you're up there for 3 games? Because you ran up there on Thursday and you were there Sunday night. You had an afternoon game and you didn't leave until Monday. So you had some extracurricular time in your schedule.
It's a lot of team bonding after a game, especially at 3-on-3. Guys deserve a nice meal and a couple beers. So the boys went out together, and it's always a good bonding experience.
What was it like playing up in Canada again? For you, you're an Alberta native yourself, played in the Western Hockey League, so we're all the way over now in Ontario, but just going back over the border and playing in Canada, is there something different for you than playing in the States?
Well, you got Timmy Hortons first. Let's get real. Timmy Hortons.
That's
it's
true.
Not the same as Timmy Hortons in the States. It's always different there, but you know what? I haven't played in Canada in, I think, 5 years now. So this is the first time back actually being able to play in Canada. So it's always a nice treat to kind of go back to my country and play there. It's always nice. The ice is always good too.
Yeah, well, how was the ice up in Brampton?
Well, they know how to take care of the ice pretty well there. So arena's always cold. It's never warm. The ice was good though. They did a good job up there.
What is it about the Canada versus U.S.? There's so much back and forth with that. You hear that just whenever it comes to hockey, Canada always lays that to fame. Now, I'm an American, so I'm going to give the U.S. side of things. But what is it about the rivalry there that Canadians think that their ice is so much nicer and hockey's their sport?
I don't know. I think because that's our number one sport. You guys got football. You guys got baseball too sometimes that take over hockey, but I think it's just I like giving it to guys, especially the Americans in the house. There's always going to be that rivalry, Canada and U.S. Especially with the World Juniors this year. There was some betting going on in the match, and too. It's just it's a fun little thing to kind of bug each other about, but I enjoy it. I enjoy giving it to guys that are American, and if Canada wins, I'll let them know. And if the States wins, they let me know. So. It's always a win-win. As
they should. Yeah, the World Juniors this year, Canada did best the United States. Canada obviously on their home soil also for that. So, congratulations to you and your home country for the World Juniors. It's, I guess, for our viewers, kind of give just a quick, I know we're kind of moving off of our road trip here, but just a quick blip of what the World Juniors is and what that means when you have a Canada-U.S. rivalry for the young guys there. Because obviously you guys, when you're growing up, that's a huge part of your development wherever you may play. And now as professionals, you look back on the younger guys that are moving their way up into the professional ranks. So just, kind of give the viewers a little bit of a look into the World Juniors.
It's kids that are competing for that high level to make it to the NHL. They're under 20. I think there has been a couple of 15-year-olds that made the World Juniors before, but mostly it's made up of 17, 18, 19-year-olds. And all these kids are amazing athletes. All of them are going to have long NHL careers. Obviously, McDavid will be picked first overall. He was on Team Canada, but it's always good hockey to watch. It's always real intense. The kids pour out their hearts for this tournament, and but it's the best of the best in this tournament all over the country, which it's always nice to see Canada kind of win that one too.
But back to Brampton, there was 3-3 the last 3 meetings this year. They're a team that was one of the 7 Central League teams that merged into the ECHL. You saw them early in the season. What looked different between when you saw them back in late October, early November, to when you last played them here towards the end of January?
One good thing that we match up well against Brampton. I think our peskiness and our willing to compete outwork them, and in a way we made those games easy on ourselves because we stuck to our system. But Brampton has a lot of older veteran statuses on their team, a lot of games played on their team. They're a team you can't take lightly because the years of experience, sometimes those guys will step up their game and they'll come and attack us. But it's good to go into their barn and win 2 out of 3 games, and we got the ball rolling on that long road trip early.
Yeah, it's always great to get off to a good start on the road trip, taking 2 of the first 3, and then you travel down to Cincinnati, and you just talked about the peskiness of your team. That seems to be a theme word this year. I don't know if our fans at home know that, but where did the whole pesky Jackals come from? And what does it really mean when you guys say, the pesky Jackals, or the Jackals are pesky in Cincinnati?
I think the biggest thing with teams when they start off the season is trying to find an identity. Coach always asks us, what do you want to be? When teams come into your rink, when teams have to play you, what's the first thing that comes in their mind? Well, we want to be obviously hard to play against. I don't know who started the pesky, but right when someone said it, it just caught on, the pesky Jackals. And we want to go into rinks being a pain in other teams' butt. We want teams coming into here worrying about playing against us and not wanting to play against us. And I think we've done a great job this year in doing so.
The Jackals showed their pesky nature in Cincinnati with going into the third period trailing, end up scoring 3 goals in the third, win that game 4-2. Was that a shift during the road trip there? I know you took 2 or 3 in Brampton, but then you go play a tough team in Cincinnati. They're leading going into the third period. How did that shift the road trip and really give you guys an extra momentum boost heading into your final weekend games against Fort Wayne and Indy?
Yeah, definitely. The first 2 periods in the Cincinnati game, we probably didn't have our greatest 2 periods. We weren't playing like ourselves. We went back into the second intermission, kind of talked in the dressing room a bit, refocused, and we said how good a feeling it's going to be if we come out this game with a win. And guys stepped up, and we started playing our game, and we got 3 goals in the third period to win the game. And it's a great feeling to come back and win that. And the momentum just kind of took in our favor, and we went to Fort Wayne and handled them pretty good. Played well. Sammy stood on his head. He played awesome. Guys had big games, and that's what I like to see.
One of those players who had a big game was Lucas Bludoff, a young guy, obviously a rookie in this league. He's had some injuries throughout the beginning of the season, and getting back on track. You're a guy who's now in his 5th year here, so you're helping some of the young guys come along here. It's one of the things I always talk with head coach Jamie Russell about is the leadership that you provide on and off the ice for these guys, showing them how to be a professional at this level and how to continue developing their game. He's a player who has had a tough time just getting things going, whether it's injury related or just trying to get into his routine. He's been thrown off a couple times this year with that. Gets his first multi-point game of his career. What was that like for you guys on the bench, just seeing him have success after having the difficulty getting going early with the injuries and whatnot?
Oh, it makes me happy when I see guys finally strive and come out of their shell. I think the biggest thing for young guys coming into this league is trying to stay positive. There's a lot of stuff that happens day to day. There's always guys coming down. There's always injuries. Sometimes you have a full roster and you maybe don't play as much. But I always tell the young guys, try to stay positive as much as you can. As soon as you start getting that negative role, things start to kind of spin out. But definitely with Bloody there, it's tough coming back from injuries. It's tough when you're dealing with injuries because you want to play. And you know, I had my fair share of injuries, and you know, I talked to Bloody about it too, and yeah, I'll give it to him. He was in that gym. He was working hard. He wanted to get back, and you know, he finally got some games under his belt, and he's rolling pretty good here. And it's just great to see, especially because you know, many people don't see the effort he puts into the gym and trying to get back and playing. And he definitely put in the time, and it's good to see that you know, he had a great night that day.
You're a guy as well, as you just mentioned, who has had to deal with a couple of injuries this season, just the nature of the beast. But when you're off to the best statistical start of your career, especially early on when things just, everything seemed to be clicking for you, when you get an injury like that keeps you out of the lineup, what does that do to you mentally? And how do you have to display that mental fortitude and then come back and continue playing at the higher rate you were before the injury?
No, I definitely, like I said, I think with the experience, I think before I would have got a bit frustrated. Now I'm not really too worried. I know what I need to do. I stay positive. I do my routines, but you know, it hasn't really dawned on me. You know, yeah, it kind of sucks. I'm out of the lineup right now, and you know, I definitely want to be there for the boys and battle with them. But I'll be back soon. When I'm back, I'm just trying to, you know, do my job and lead by example.
You played last year in Las Vegas. One of the things before the break I didn't tease was the fact that you played in Sin City last year. What was that experience like? Obviously, you say that, you know, going from being just not just another player on a team, but a guy who's not wearing a letter. It's different when you have that on your chest versus obviously when you're just in the locker room and those guys are the ones that are leading. So what was that experience like playing in Las Vegas from that standpoint? But also, I know there's a midnight game mixed in there, and just playing in that city. What's the atmosphere like?
You know what? I will always remember and cherish my time in Vegas. It was awesome. We had good fan support. The team obviously didn't do as great as I would like. It was a tough season on the ice, but just the people I've met, the relationships I have in Vegas, and I met a lot of great people there that I still keep in contact today. And I can never say I played a 12 o'clock midnight game before. That was definitely different. I enjoyed it. We actually had some great amount of fans. I think 10,000 fans on a 12 o'clock midnight game. But it's definitely weird when you got out of the rink at 3:30, 4 in the morning. But it was an awesome place. The weather was unbelievable, and no, I'll always remember my time there for sure.
And you had played briefly here before going to Las Vegas, so you've had some experience in the Elmira area, but how much has it changed from then to now? And what's your experience like now, just being here? You know, you're back in the community, but so many things have been adjusted and altered, just community, organization-wise. What has this experience been like so far for you?
You know what, I came into, I think the last month, a couple of years ago. I was here for probably a month and a half. I know I heard some stuff with the team then, and I heard I see it now, it's a 360. The owners have been amazing this year. They treat us like gold, as you could tell with the locker room too, and then the big clock there, and the ice. That's always nice to have in your own rink. But when the opportunity arose for me to come back here, I talked to a few buddies that played here, and definitely Terzi I talked to, and I heard nothing but good things about the organization, and I was more than thrilled to come back here and play. I know Elmira has a great fan base. I love the rink, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
And one of the differences from the last time you played here was the housing aspect. Yeah. This past summer, the Jackals organization had taken over the old Lindenwold House bed and breakfast and had turned it into, as you guys call it, the Jackals Mansion.
Yeah, the Jackal Mansion.
Very large 30-room house that gives you 6 acres and countless space inside. Just kind of walk people through what it's like to live in that place.
I don't know. I think it's more you have to actually live there to experience it, to tell you the truth. You know what? Surprisingly, many people probably think it's a disaster, but I try to keep it a clean, tight ship. But no, the house is pretty good. It's enjoyable. It's nice having everybody there. I think at first it kind of got everybody off guard because definitely in pro, there hasn't been such a thing where guys all live under the same roof. So I think at first guys were a little bit skeptical, but living in there and having all the guys in one spot, the place is huge. So if you want to get away and have your own time, there's always spots to do it. But we have some good times there. There's a lot of betting going. There's always action around the house. It's unreal. If it's not for guys cooking meals together, watching movies, playing pool, video games, you name it, everything's going on at that house.
How do you think that's affected the bond of this team this year? It seems like this is a very close-knit team. Do you think a lot of that's attributed to you guys living together?
No, 100%. I think the biggest thing is team chemistry. I know we discussed road trips. I think one of the biggest things with road trips is even when the married guys are on the road, everybody's together, and that's where actually teams usually build the bonding is on road trips. But seeing how we're with each other 24/7 and under one roof, I think it's we're in each other's personal space. We respect each other. We take care of each other. I think that's why we've had the success we have, is just because guys want to battle for each other, because we love each other like brothers. And then even the guys that are married and with kids and don't live in the mansion, they're pretty much there every second day or every day hanging out with us. So they're always underneath the roof there, and they always have a place to stay. There's extra beds too, so if it's late night, they can spend time there. But it's definitely helped. I think on and off the ice, living under the same roof.
Obviously, a big victory in Fort Wayne, winning 2-1. A hard-fought game against a good opponent. That game in particular, you show that pesky, resilient nature with you guys. Obviously, the goals. Zach Tolkien, a fortunate bounce going off of his leg and in, and then Mike Seidel getting the game winner, which occurred in the second period. What did you like from your team's performance that game? Just the way that they battled, going up after giving up the first goal early in the first period. The team just seemed to battle the rest of the way. You got the 2 goals you needed, and then the third period was just such a shutdown defensive period. How does that encompass just the Jackals style of hockey?
One thing I definitely respect is our composure. I see a lot of teams sometimes, if they don't get the first goal, if another team gets the first goal, they kind of let up. And, that might be doing, like you said, a lot of guys that in college that have worn that C, have worn that letter. There is, maybe they're not wearing the letter now on the team, but they do take pride in taking leadership, even on their team now. And just our composure when things aren't going our way, we seem to just kind of click it and clear mind, and the guys put the pedal to the metal and just keep going and pounding away. And they put 2 away, and they kind of held on to that lead. So, the guys have been playing awesome, and I think the biggest thing is we have great composure on our team.
The final game of the road trip in Indianapolis went the way the Fuel. They won 3-0, although your team outshot them 41-18.
Yeah.
Kind of one of those nights where you seem to get everything going. You're playing the way you want to be playing. The bounces aren't going your way, or it's just not going into the goaltender's playing very well on the other end. So, despite that final, though, you finished the road trip 4-2-0. You get to come home for 3 games here this weekend. How important is transitioning a good road trip into a home weekend when you have the opportunity now to play divisional opponents here at home?
No, definitely. Doing well on the road, I think, is the biggest thing. It's always nice coming back to your home barn and playing there. Definitely hard to win games on the road, so it's always nice to get 4 of the 6. But no, I'm excited. It's finally, I think it's been about a month since I played at home, so it's pretty exciting to come back to the home barn and get a few wins this week, especially with our division, how tight it is. A lot of these games are must-wins, so there'll be some good competition this week, and I know the boys are up for the challenge.
And before we get to the weekend, though, you had Sunday, which wasn't just a normal Sunday. It was Super Bowl Sunday. First of all, you got to tell me who you were rooting for, if anyone, or who you may have picked in that game, and what your thoughts were. Obviously, everyone has their opinion on the Super Bowl. You got to give me yours.
I was going for Seattle. I'm pretty sure the mansion was a split decision. Actually, half the guys were going for Patriots, half the guys were going for Seattle. But I think that was a great game. I give it to those guys. They're heck of athletes. I have no comment for the end of the game. I'll leave that to the media and what they want to talk about it. But you know, they tried running a play, it didn't happen, and sometimes that's how it goes. If the guy caught it, went for a touchdown, they would have said it's the right play. So you know, it's tough to you know, take that back, but stuff happens, and congratulations to all the Patriots fans.
Was it nice, though, for you guys to be able to come home and unwind after a 10-day trip? You get back, you know, it was, geez, what, 10, 11 in the morning on Sunday. You know, the game is at 6:30. I'm sure you guys had to grab a little power nap and then get up for the game. But you guys do something at the mansion there. You have an opportunity to get together and just, you know, enjoy the game, kind of shake off the rust of the road, and then get ready to get back at it this week.
No, definitely. It's always nice to come back and relax in your own bed and sleep in your own bed. And yeah, we had a little Super Bowl party there with the guys, and watched the game together and joked and have some laughs, and had two good days of practice and get ready back for work. But it was a nice day just to unwind and hang out with the guys.
Final question on the mansion. Do you think you have the best house over there, being the captain? Or best room over there at the house, yes.
I was told I do. I have a pretty good setup. I have a jacuzzi tub in my room, and there's candles, and I light them and relax, and I have the bath salts going sometimes. So to the guys, I have a good room, but there's a lot of good rooms in the house.
Favorite scented candle?
Favorite scented candle? Oh, geez. Put me on the spot here. You know, I'm a vanilla or coconut guy, to tell you the truth.
Okay. Oh. Vanilla, I can agree with vanilla. Coconut's too tropical.
Yeah, too tropical.
Come on, sell my words. There's about a foot of snow on the ground right now.
Exactly, so I need the coconut to feel like I'm in that tropical place.
I'll stick to my winter vanilla bean.
Yeah, fair enough.
That does it for this week's version of the Jackals Coaches Show with Jackals captain Matt Tassoni as my guest. Thank you very much for coming on, Matt.
Thank you for having me.
Anywhere from coconut candles to the team's last road trip, I'm Jared Abbott, that's Matt Tassoni, and this does it for this week's edition of the Jackals Coaches Show. Thank you all for tuning in on WETM.